Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Decks of the Weekend. It is not on Monday as I usually do, it's on Thursday because I return from a vacation. I've been in Croatia, a very nice summer holiday, which I love and look forward to every year. I brought some magic cards with me. I brought some legacy decks with me to play in various spare time, but I'm very glad to go back to Modern now, especially since there was a huge announcement. Wizards, I was really expecting a ban list that just said no changes because, well, no cards were ban worthy if you follow the PT and Modern in general. And the Wizards has been very tamed with unbanning cards that I really expected no ban list, no unbanned cards, and I definitely didn't see the preordained unbanned coming, and I'm very happy to see that because obviously that's a huge boost to my pet deck, Blue Red Murktide. Let me quickly start saying that preordained is much better than Consider. The fact that Consider puts a card in the graveyard doesn't matter. I mean, obviously it does. You play Consider over Thought Scour because you like the selection, and Preordain selects even more. Let's say you're looking for a land, Preordain goes bottom bottom draw, so that's huge. Whenever you get that situation where land is your third card, you just are playing Magic instead of just losing the game. So it's clearly better because it goes deeper. Serum Visions isn't equal because you are drawing the third land the turn after, so the same as Consider basically. But also one thing more that Preordain does is adding sorcery to the archetype, so that Dragon's Rage Challenger is gonna be able to go do Delirium more often. If you play Legacy, back when iteration was legal, you saw how with Ponder you were likely hitting Delirium faster in Legacy, and now you can do the same with Preordain. So yeah, huge addition to the format. Now the question is, do you still want to play some numbers of Consider, or do you want to cut them all? Tomorrow, I'm gonna record. I'm gonna stream Blue Ray Murktide, which is gonna be on Sunday Murktide. So this list is gonna happen on Sunday, and I'm gonna play this one. But again, unclear if you should cut all the Consider entirely and go to 18 lands and have more interaction, just because maybe too many cantrips. Because in Legacy you play for Ponder for Brainstorm, but Ponder and Brainstorm are infinite better than Consider. So while we are now trying to do something similar to the Legacy build, except of course Ragavan and the iterations are legal, whereas they're banned in Legacy. But a whole different world of Waste Days and Force of Will. So Wasteland. So obviously, card evaluation is much different. But anyway, I was saying that Consider is much worse than Brainstorm and Ponder. So it makes sense that you still don't care about it and just play other things instead. Although if you want to go for the full playset of Murktide Regent, which makes sense, then play Consider also makes sense. When this deck started, when this deck was born in 2021, we were playing 4 Murktide and nobody thought of ever cutting one. And then slowly we went down to 2 because of cards like Leyline Binding and also Ledger Shredder adding more threats. People are moving away from Shredder. I still want to play them. I still think that is very good for the late game to get rid of extra lands. Surely now you have 7 cantrips, so you're going to float out less, also because you're cutting out some lands. But I still want to play Ledger Shredder. And you do have, of course, more ways to draw to your kill spell to kill the orc. Of course, if there's an orc in play, playing Preordain is annoying. Or if your opponent has 2 mana up and you play Preordain, playing against orc is annoying. But you will try to play in a way where you either cast Preordain with mana open only if you have a removal spell for orc or if you have a counter spell for orc. You can play more Stern Scolding if we feel that way. What else to say here? Not much. I mean, Transfer Challenger is going to be much better. Preordain is going to slot into many decks. I choose 2 decks of the weekend, the Blue Red Murktide, because it's my favorite archetype, and you're going to see a lot in my YouTube channel. And this is my YouTube channel. I also recorded a league with Blue Red Prowess, which will go up tomorrow, and a league with Blue Black Control, which is going to go up on Saturday. So stay tuned for those. But yeah, Preordain is going to slot into a lot of decks because this card is very good. This card sees playing 4 of in Vintage. Of course, in Vintage, Ponder and Brainstorm are restricted, so but you still decide to play 4 Preordain, a card that will when I might start brewing with, but obviously requires more time and maybe Um, we'll see, but Dread Arcanist is a card that is currently banned in Legacy, and because it works very well with cantrips. And now we have a tier 1 level, maybe not tier 1, but like tier 1.5 level cantrip that's Preordain. For a while, people were playing Preordain over Ponder in Legacy. I remember that when there was when there was like decks with fewer fetch lands. All right, let's go to Legacy now, because Legacy also got a huge shakeup. Not because of many of a new card or a new set or whatever, but because um, if you be following Legacy, you know that they Legacy on Magical Line isn't the true Legacy. In paper, we have the true Legacy, which is just every card printed in the commander sets. But on Magical Line, some cards are missed, and they were added last weekend. And Creative Techniques is one of them. And this card immediately won the challenge by Beekeeper, world class player from the UK. And he even got to win the challenge with only 3 of them in the deck. If you remember, I've showed you this deck a while ago in one of the decks of the weekend. But basically, this is a combo deck. You're playing 39 lands. All your lands ramp 2 mana, all of them, except Boseiju Otawara. And what you do is you cast this card. Again, you should play 4. I have this list in front of me, but you should definitely play 4 of this. And you shuffle your deck. You reveal until you reveal a non-land. So you will reveal one of these cards. All these cards have Cascade, so they will cascade naturally into Creative Techniques. And then you will either get to Emrakul, or if you finish all your 8 copies of Creative Techniques, which remember makes a copy when you cast it, you will still get a lot of these creatures into play and then attack with Master Wanderer. So this is a combo deck that doesn't suffer counterspell that much because it comes to play with 2 copies on the stack and then you just cast it again the turn after because you're so redundant. It's basically a Tibalt's Trickery deck, which is even in the sideboard. I'm not 100% sure about the cyber plan. I don't remember or didn't check out if Sean wrote about it, but sideboarding, of course, is wild. Mindbreak Trap is great. Just in general, cards that forbid the opponent to cast multiple spell per turn are great. Wasteland is great because, you know, they don't do anything until they get 6 mana. So yeah, this is definitely a wild deck and one of the many decks that was not a Magical Line, not because it was bad, but because it was simply not there. And yeah, and now it is. Let's finish off with Pauper. Pauper also had a bunch of new cards from the new set, but actually not that many, only like Cryptic Serpent I saw in the blue-red deck that I showed just last decks of the week, and so I didn't feel like going back to back with it. Instead, this deck won the challenge, and it's mono white. It's actually mono white. Idyllic Grange from the same cycle of Mystic Sanctuary. You don't fetch it for, you just drew it, and you put a counter on your creatures. Lunarch Veteran, Traben, Squarnock without Brainstorm, so much weaker. You have a Recognition, which is your reanimate spell with a +1/+1 counter. You have Raffine's Informat, Core Skyfisher, and then you have Militia Bugler. This is a card that was downgraded, downshifted in last summer. Prismatic Strands, of course, and then we have Garden Pledge, which is great in this deck. And then finishing off with Battle Screech, which exists in common only due to a Magical Line set. In paper, it's only uncommon, but you know it's legal. And in Pauper, and here it is, 4 copies. So you know if you love mono white aggro, which I'm sure many of you do, it's a viable deck. And this list is definitely a great place to start. You have Sunlace as a removal spell. You have Crimson Acolyte against the mono red decks. Cleric against the Boggles, and of course the 4 Dust to Dust against Affinity. This is it for this week. Thank you for watching. I'll be back to stream every morning, so my YouTube channel is gonna go back to have some up-to-date content. I know I had 2 weeks of kind of on and off with PT Barcelona followed by my vacation, but now I'm back. So you know, hope you stay. Hope you check out the channel every day, and have a great day, a very good week.